And we are live. God, I've missed you people. I really have missed you people. Thank you for being so patient with me while I wasn't here for the last 10 days. But man, I am glad to be back. Let's see if I can still remember how to do this. Man, it is good to be back. I am glad to be here. Thank you for everybody filing back in. I had actually intended to not be away. I had intended to actually do the show while I was gone, but the solar flares or basically Starlink just sucks. And that's what the cruise ship used was Starlink, and I couldn't make it happen. I tried a couple of times. The feed just couldn't make it. So I just took a few days off, and I'm glad turned it into a vacation instead of a working vacation. But man, am I glad to be back. I have missed you people. I have missed you people immensely. I've kept track of what was going on, and I didn't get that feedback from y'all, and it was starting to weigh on me a little bit. I'm really, 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 really glad you are here. Marcia Klepper, right out of the box. Thank you for being here, Marcia, all the time. One of the fellow Texan, one of the foundational members of the community. Let's talk about Donald Trump and the Epstein files. I just wanted to give y'all a pat on the back. I want to give y'all an attaboy. And I told y'all, and I've told you about this about several things. If you keep at it and you keep punching away, you will get it done. You will. There's a lot of folks out there on social media that, the House is never going to pass this. And then, the House passed it and the Senate will never pass it. And, Trump's just going to kill it and it'll never become law. And, Trump signed it we're never going to get anything because they're going to withhold everything. I mean, there are people that, I'm going to be honest with you. They're expressing their fears on their social media platform. They're venting. They are. But I've told you, don't let those people influence you. You keep banging away. You keep being positive. You keep your eye on the goal. You keep pushing. We will get it done. And yes, they're going to try to withhold this shit. They are. They're going to try to withhold this shit. This is who they are. They're scummy people. They always try to cheat. Always. But you always keep winning because you keep banging away. And please forgive my voice. I picked up a little bug on the cruise, and I did a COVID test, just not COVID. So I may have to stop every once in a while, mute and blow my nose or cough or something like that. I got a little chest something going on. Feels like COVID, headache, body aches, sore throat, all that COVID shit. But COVID test says no. So, hey, fingers crossed. But forgive me if every once in a while if I do have to mute. But look, this is how it started. This is how it started. Trump with his he just didn't want this to happen. We drug him to make this happen. We drug him along to make this happen. Y'all remember this disgusting exchange?
You're going to find out what did he know with respect to Bill Clinton, with respect to the head of Harvard, with respect to all of those people that he knew, including J.P. Morgan shares.
Sir,
Yeah,
if
Jennifer,
there's
go
nothing
ahead.
incriminating in the file, sir,
Quiet, begin.
on Venezuela, sir, you've had a lot of meetings.
Yeah, I mean, he was losing his damn mind. He took a grown ass woman, a professional journalist. He called her Piggy. because he was so losing his damn mind about how badly he was getting drugged. He was getting dog walked through this whole process. He had lost his control over the Republicans. And he was losing his damn mind over it. Of course, now what he's trying to say is, oh, this is what I wanted. This is absolutely what I wanted, which is a load of crap, because you could see his own reaction. And, they explained it to him. He did not sign this right away. It sat on his desk for a day while he hemmed and hawed about it. And somebody with more brains than him sat him down and explained what a gift it would be to us Democrats should he refuse to sign this. If he went anyway, but look, it could have sat on his desk for 10 days. If he did nothing, absolutely nothing, didn't veto it, nothing, it would have just become law. If it just sat on his desk. That was one avenue. He could have vetoed it. It would have went back. They were veto-proof majorities. He had lost control of the Republicans. This was going to pass. And somebody sat him down and explained to him that if he goes through any other path other than just signing this bill and then trying to be dirty later and trying to keep this stuff from coming out later, that this was just going to be a gift to us Democrats. Because I want to remind you of something, folks. We are 11 months away from the midterms election. Yeah, 11 months. You remember all the people on social media that were telling you, oh, they're not going to let us vote. It's over. Democracy's over. And I kept saying, no, I'm not asking. I'm going to vote. And what happened in the last election, the off-year elections that we just had in early November? We smoked them. We smoked them. I say we, you smoked them. You got out there. You knew the assignment. You got it done. You got it done. And I kept telling people, stop listening to these people because, I get it. It's your social media platform. If you want to vent, if you want to express your fear, it's your platform. What bothers me is when you come to my social media platform and you say that stuff. And you don't just ask me to make you feel better about it. You literally argue with me when I'm telling people, no, yeah, we're going to vote. And we're going to vote in the midterms. And we are going to kick their ever-loving asses in the midterms. We are. And that is just 11 months away. Think about that. Think about it. Now, he can do a lot of horrible shit in the next 11 months. He really can. But I want you to think about that. If we get it done, if we get the job done in the midterms, and we're looking at of expected voters, Democrats are at a +10. That is a rout, folks. That is a rout. If those numbers hold for the next 11, and it looks like they're going to. It does. It looks like they're going to. If you keep at it, you keep reminding people we have to vote. And I have to tell you, there's a lot of folks out there. You know me, I support the LGBTQ plus community. I support transgender rights and whatnot. But I had a couple people to get real catty with me just yesterday on social media. They want the platform to be transgender rights in Gaza. No. I will support transgender rights and I will support candidates that do. And I support your right to act in the primaries in your interests. But you're telling me that you're not going to turn up and vote. And this was the threat they made. If we don't run the platform that they want, which was transgender rights and Gaza, 2026, they weren't showing up. Screw that noise and screw you, buddy. Screw you, ma'am. No. No. Now, you want to oppose, and what started it was a conversation about Gavin Newsom. He's made some stupid comments about transgender rights in the past. He really has. He has a lot of shit to put back in the horse. There ain't no doubt there. He and I don't agree. We don't. But you know what? If he's the candidate, if the voters go in, and this is where I lost my temper a little bit. If the voters go in and choose him as our candidate, I'm ride or die, baby. I'm ride or die. I may support another candidate, but if that candidate doesn't win, I'm going into that voting booth and I'm pulling the lever for Gavin Newsom. I am. I am a ride or die Democrat. That's who I am. I ain't staying the hell home. Not happening. Not happening. And I took so much shit for saying, look, a 90% win is better than a 100% loss. You know, if you don't get the candidate you exactly want, keep fighting. Keep influencing that candidate. You know, do it. I'm all behind you for that. Forgive me. That's what it means. When I started the Ride or Die Democrats, when I started this community, it was about one thing, and I was a Bernie bro. In 2016, I voted for Bernie, and then when he lost, and this is where I got a little angry. When he lost in 2016, lost New York, I realized, okay, he's not going to be the party's standard bearer. It's just not going to happen. I support his policies. I do. I'm trying to pull left as hard as I can. I'm trying to pull left. And I love a lot of Bernie's policies. I really do. But he wasn't going to be the standard bearer. So I jumped on the Clinton train. I did. 100%, because that's what you do. And then so many people screwed us because they didn't get their guy. My guy lost. So instead of doing what I did, they, you know, and they misrepresented what happened. They were saying things like, Bernie got more votes than Hillary Clinton. Well, that's not true. She got 4 million more votes than he did. There was a reason she was the nominee. But they spun this narrative that there was this Democrat boogeyman that took it away from him and put Hillary Clinton in. And no, you're the boogeyman. You walked in and voted or didn't vote in 2016. And that's where I got angry. We control this. And I want to circle this back around to what we were talking about with Trump and the victories that you've had. We are the power. You are the power. You made this happen. You made this happen. You know, those Democrats fighting up on the Hill couldn't get shit done without you behind them. They just couldn't. And I'm telling you, those numbers right now with independents, where Trump he was -4 in the last election, he's -45 now. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And you're the ones that are doing it with their help, because I'm telling you, you just got to see the shit that we're talking about today. You just got to see it. I mean, they are, good Lord. All we have to do is sit here and go and let them keep screwing up, and we've got this. We've got this. E.T. Malcolm Nance is putting together a Project 2028 that is very aggressive against these criminals. It starts in the midterms and works forward. Amen. We just need to be smart about that. They were very stupid about Project 2025. They were. If they'd have been more quiet about it, they would have gotten a lot more of it done. They signaled where we were going. We have to be smarter. Omniscient Sphinx, thank you for always being here, friend. The speed that they move on to pass the bill in the file had me scratching my head. I'm wondering what in God's name Republicans are playing at. If Trump goes, he is going to take them all too. Now, here's the thing. They're going to throw him under the bus, and then they're going to back that bus up over him about 5 times. Trump goes down, they're going to do everything they can to distance themselves, and they had to vote for. That's why they had to vote for this. They couldn't be on the Trump train with this. They know the damage that this is going to cause. Mr. Newton in the house, thank you for being here, man. I appreciate that Norwegian kroner, sir. Staying home is what got Trump elected 2 times. Look what that got you. Look what that got you all. Total chaos, home and abroad. Amen. It caused the total destruction of Gaza. It did. It did. That's what staying home got us. Paul, will you mention the change on the CDC webpage that dissed vaccines, breaking the promise to Senator Cassidy? What Oregon wine lady's talking about is they've been making deals, and you know what? I say it all the time. A deal with a Republican is useless, but they've got to try. They do, and they made a deal. Senator Cassidy made a deal. Said, "Look, we'll pass your funding bills, and but you have to promise that you're going to leave this alone. You're going to quit using the collar of the government to give people bad information." And they went back on their deal. Of course, they did. They went ahead and put anti-vaccine false information on the CDC website. That's what our government is doing right now. Agent Cajun John, man, missed you, brother. Missed you. He won't make it to 2026. No, he will not. I don't believe he will. I don't believe he's going to make it for very long, especially after the midterms, the pressure that he's going to be under when there are guardrails in place and he can't just run his mouth and shit happens where stuff actually has to go through the legislature. I suspect that he will try to find an exit. I suspect. Forgive me. But let's talk about some of the good stuff, man. Let's talk about some of the good stuff. I want to play something for you here before we get to the main story about Trump calling for people to be, you know, but I want to talk about this. This is something that's going on, and there's somebody that I want to put you in touch with. I really want to put you in touch with, and I'll explain it more once I start her video. I'm gonna stick with me on this, folks. I'm gonna start her video, then I'm gonna stop it, and I'm gonna explain something to you, and I'll explain why. Just stick with me. This happened back in September, folks. It didn't make any news. There was so much going on. It just blew right by. But yeah, this really happened. The former Tennessee Speaker of the House was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison. I mean, it's 14 counts of fraud, bribery, theft, conspiracy, and money laundering in connection with Phoenix Solutions. It's a company that his former chief of staff, Cade Cothran, who was also sentenced to 30 months, had started. Yeah, and in September, this is how it started. He found guilty 100%. And this is Cade Cothran, by the way. This is Cade Cothran. And forgive me, I am going to start this video and I'm going to stop it. And there's a reason I'm doing that. Just stick with me. I want to introduce you to somebody. This is Liz Oyer, and I want you to follow her. And this is why I'm going to stop the video. Give me just a second. I'm going to start it and I'll stop it. Now, let me explain right now why. Okay, this is Liz Oyer. Now, let me.
Hey, everybody.
One second. All right, doggone it. One second. This is going to be a little bit, because it is a YouTube video. Forgive me. I'm going to have to go back down and get it to her. I'm going to have to play it, and I'm not going to be able to open it all the way, but that's okay. That's okay. This is a big deal. This is an absolute big deal. And the reason that I'm doing this after I start the video is because this is a YouTube video from her that she's posted on Blue Sky. And I want you to go follow Liz Oyer on Blue Sky. I do. She is, one second. Let me see if I can get it this way. I backed up and lost the video. She explains the situation far better than I possibly could. She is something else. And forgive the delay. I screwed up here. She is an incredible resource. Come on now. Come on. Where are you? Where are you? Let me see if I can just get it this way. Let me try a couple different ways of pulling it back up. I had the damn video there. Got stupid and tried to get slick and tried to pause it. I will find it if you will stick with me for just a minute, and I do apologize. I will find it. Oh, Lord. Forgive me. Phew. How bad is this going? This is going to kill me. I'm going to have to edit this out when I go back. All right, here we go. Here we go.
Hey everybody, this is Cade Cawthorn. He is a truly repulsive person, and he just received a presidential pardon from Donald Trump. This story.
All right, now let me pause it and let me explain why I'm pausing it. This is a YouTube video, okay? This is on her YouTube channel, which I want you to go. The reason I'm pausing it mid to explain this is because if I explain it beforehand, YouTube isn't going to show her the part where I explain why I'm showing her video. It's just going to show the part where I show her video. It literally will send me a message. If somebody uses one of my videos, I get a message that says, from this point to this point, this second to this second in their show, they're using your video. What do you want to do? Then you go back and you look at that point, and then you don't get the explanation. You know, folks, I want you to supercharge your social media feeds. These are the people I want you to be in touch with. Liz Oyer is brilliant. She is absolutely brilliant. And I want you to listen to what she says about this. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about her here in just a second. But I want you to not only follow her on Blue Sky, I want you to follow her on YouTube. Now, if you watch this on replay and this video is taken down, it's because she got a notification that I used her YouTube video, and she can absolutely has the right to tell me I can't use it. She can. I doubt she'll do that, though. But because she's asking, you'll hear, she's asking for me to promote it.
This story is flying under the radar right now, so please help me spread the word. I'm Liz Oyer, the former pardon attorney for the Department of Justice. Cawthorn was a rising star in the Tennessee Republican Party. At age 32, he became chief of staff to the Tennessee House Speaker, Glenn Quesada. But that didn't last long. Unfortunately for Cawthorn, a whole bunch of his text messages leaked, including texts with his boss, where he talked about harassing, degrading, and preying on women. Some of these women were young interns who worked for him. With one intern, Cawthorn solicited oral sex, asked for nude photos, asked if she was wearing underwear, and talked about orgasms. In another case, this is a different intern, Cawthorn wrote, quote, "I'm going to keep hitting on her just to see what happens. Before long, I'll be that guy." That guy, Cade, is a sexual predator. There were also racist text messages. Cawthorn declared that Black people are idiots. And of course, he used the N-word. He also texted about orgies, using cocaine in his office, and, quote, tripping balls on acid, cocaine, and weed. After Cawthorn was forced to resign, he started a sham company with his former boss. Together, they defrauded other legislators and profited off of taxpayer money. They were both prosecuted for fraud and public corruption. Cawthorn was convicted on 19 counts and sentenced to 2.5 years in prison plus a $25,000 fine. He and Quesada were both scheduled to report to prison later this month, but then Donald Trump intervened and gave them both pardons. Cawthorn claimed he was unfairly persecuted by Biden's DOJ, but in fact, his criminal investigation began during Trump's first presidency and continued into Trump's second presidency. He was sentenced to prison by a Trump-appointed judge. Presidential pardons are supposed to be reserved for people who have repaid their debt to society and who have demonstrated exemplary conduct and character. That's actually written in the Justice Manual. Cade Cawthorn is unqualified for a presidential pardon in every conceivable way. But in Trump's world, character doesn't matter. You can be a racist, you can be a sexual predator, you can be a liar and a cheat. All it takes to get a pardon is kissing the ring or writing a fat check.
They did not want her around. She is a badass. She's a Harvard grad. She is fantastic. Yeah, I did it again. I forgot to unmute. I did. But she is a badass. She really is. Boy, the show's going great today. I'm just killing it. All right. But Colleen Sarah says, welcome home. Don't you know if you planned on talking about the fiasco on the invasion of Mexico Monday? Yes. No bullshit. We invaded Monday, Mexico. I was going to talk about it later in the show, but we'll talk about it right now. Yeah, we invaded Mexico Monday. We did. Our military landed on a beach that they thought was South Texas, but they were so imbecilic and stupid because, hey, Republicans running the show, put a bunch of signs out that says, you're in America now. American law applies. Well, the problem was they were standing on Mexican sand. Yeah, they got their landing wrong. We invaded Mexico and threw a bunch of signs up saying this is our property. And Mexicans showed up in pickup trucks with 50 caliber machine guns on the back of them and invited us to leave and rip the signs down. Yeah, that really happened. That really happened. Yeah, Chris, tell me about it. Forgiveness, stop. I hear you, brother. I hear you. But yeah, do yourself a favor. Follow Liz Oyer. She is really fantastic. She is brilliant. People tell me all the time, Paul, how do you know this stuff? How do you know all this stuff? I don't know it. I keep in touch with people like Liz Oyer, but I am not the kind of people. Somebody called me an influencer the other day, and I am not an influencer. That is not what I do. You know what influencers do? Influencers go and listen to somebody like Liz Oyer, and then they turn around and they say that shit like they're the one saying it. No. I'm building a community here, and I'm showing people how to be as effective as possible. So I'm putting you in touch with Liz Oyer because there's going to be something she talks about that I miss. But if our community's paying attention to really smart, capable people, I'm just a commentator, folks. That's what I do. I got the gift of gab. That is what I do. I listen to people way smarter than me, and I talk about it. Sometimes I'll take complex situations like we're going to do with Lindsey Halligan, and I'll break them down, make them a little smoother and a little easier to digest. That's my job. But it is not my job to do what influencers do, which is sit there and say, oh, this is going on, and this is, I have figured this out. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You just watched somebody with degrees that are 10 times smarter than you and understand the subjects, and you turned around and you said it as though it was, that's not me, folks. That's just not me. So yeah, give Liz Oyer a follow. She's fantastic. She really is fantastic. But yeah, not only do we have Trump apparently willing to pardon the most disgusting people. I mean, these people were convicted of fraud. They were convicted of, just disgusting. There is no Republican gross enough that he will not issue them a pardon. But you remember they were talking about the autopen and how the pardons, the pardons don't apply because the president has to know about the pardon and he has to sign the pardon himself and yada, 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 yada. Well, you know what? Those pardons, including the ones the two that we just talked about with Glenn Quesada and Cade Cothran. Yeah, those were signed with an auto pen. They all went up, published on the website, and the handwriting expert said, excuse me, but every signature on every pardon, including Daryl Strawberry, if you don't follow that, my God, just every one of these pardons that you just announced has an identical signature on it, completely identical. As in, yeah, it's an auto pen. And then once that story started to break, they panicked and pulled them down and pulled up some bullshit, some bullshit signatures, and changed up the signatures with each of the pardons. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're not Republicans. We don't play that game. If they use an autopen, it doesn't matter. If it's his intent to give away these pardons to these disgusting, freaking fraudulent freaks, that's the president's right. He can do that. But we can judge him for who he is for doing it. We just can. And I got to tell you, between the pardons and the disgusting people that they are pardoning, I want to circle this back around to what we were talking about with the midterms that are only 11 months away. They're going to keep feeding this kind of stuff because they're incompetent. That's the theme for today's show. These are incompetent, awful people. They're going to keep feeding us this kind of stuff. They are. And their people don't know how to deal with it. It's like the Epstein situation. Their base have started defending pedophilia. This video went absolutely viral, and it's disgusting. It really is. Prepare yourself. This is disgusting. This is where the MAGA base went. And once you watch this, I want you to think about it in the context of coming elections. Now they're from -4 to -45 with independents. This is why. This is where their base went. This went ultra viral. People have just put response after response to response after this. This guy really said this, really put it out on his social media. This is where MAGA went as they started to lose over the Epstein files.
Here's another thing that I know with absolute certainty. If you took any man alive, any grown-ass man in his 50s, I don't care how old he is, you put him on an island with a beautiful 14-year-old girl and nobody's looking, he knows that nobody's looking, he's going to fuck her.
Okay, we got one, Chris Hansen. Lock him up. Because I don't know what Epstein Island this man is stuck on, but that would be the last thing on my mind. Because while he's thinking about playing Love Island with a teenager he met on Roblox, I would be more concerned about starring in the black version of Castaway.
Yeah. Pedophilia is okay. We'd all do it. That's what he said. That's what he said. Because, their cult leader's in trouble, man. It's coming out. Their donors, Trump, all these people. So they got to make it okay. And he's not the only one. We saw the Megyn Kelly stuff we talked about before I left. Oh, well, she's 15. I mean, 15's not 8. They're twisting themselves in knots. And let me just be clear about this. If I'm stuck on an island and there's a 14-year-old girl, I'm going into protector mode. I'm going into dad mode. That's my normal reaction. I got to make sure she's not sunburned. I got to build shelter. I got to, make sure that she's got food. I'm going to go into ultimate protector mode. This 14-year-old girl I'm stuck on that island with is going to become my daughter. That's where normal men go when they think about this stuff. But no, that's not who MAGA is. We are not the same, folks. We are not the same. Their entire movement is about taking their worst impulses and claiming they're okay. Bigotry, pedophilia, ebophilia, whatever you want to call it. That's their entire movement, to take the absolute worst of themselves and say, hey, that's okay. But it's not. That's not who we are. That's not what we do. That is not what we do. You put me stuck on an island with a 14-year-old girl, and I'm going to do everything I can in and up to sacrifice my life to make sure that she is safe and okay. That's where I'm going to be. I'm going to be building structures. I'm going to be finding food and clean, figuring out how to get clean water, how to signal to try to get us rescued. That's where I'm going to be. That's where I'm going to be. But this fool is talking about sleeping with 14-year-olds, and it's okay because his cult daddy is in trouble. So we all got to act like it's okay because, we can't have cult daddy in trouble. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting. These people keep telling you who they are. And you keep taking me saying you're not the same. You are better people than them. And I keep getting people that email me and say, you're just kissing our ass. You're trying to tell people. How many times do I have to show you that you are better people? And the reason I tell you that you're better people is so that you keep fighting. Because better people want better things for our country. And that's what I want for my kids and my grandkids. That's my selfishness in this. It is what it is, man. And these people are just freaking gross. I mean, just freaking gross. And it doesn't get any better. It doesn't get any better. This is where it started, okay? This is how it started. You remember the big ugly bill? Remember the big ugly bill? They put what everybody thought was going to be a poison pill and kill the bill. It was that senators could sue if they were investigated. This is what was in the bill. A lot of people don't know what was in the bill. If a senator gets investigated during a crime, they put into the bill that the DOJ and their cell phone provider, if their cell phone records are subpoenaed in an investigation. I mean, you're talking about a legitimate FBI investigation. You're talking about Jack Smith or anybody. If anybody subpoenas their information, they must be notified that it's happening before it happens. That got put in the bill. Now, here, let me show you the ugliness of watching the sausage get made. John Thune wanted that, but the original language really only made it so that it protected Republicans. So what did Chuck Schumer do? He made some sausage. He said, okay, you want that in the bill? It's got to protect everybody. I can't stop it. This is going to be something that kills the bill. I want something over here. You want this really bad. So your bill has to be, your poison pill you're putting in the bill has to be blanket. It can't be about Republicans. It has to be all senators. And then I won't object to it. Now, if this hits social media, which thank God it hasn't, nobody's really done a deep dive into this. Nobody's ever told you what I told you about Chuck Schumer's involvement. That didn't make social media, because what would have been presented on social media is this would have all been Chuck Schumer's. They would have said it like he wrote the frickin' amendment, which he didn't. He didn't. It's just the way the sausage is made. Sometimes when you get a bill, there's something in it that is complete shit. And that's his freaking job, to make deals and try to make shit that's bad not as bad. So that's how it started. ES44 driver. It really disgusted me how many of the MAGAs I used to know said the thought crossed their minds that they would date their daughters if they weren't related. No real man or father's minds goes there. It's an illness. Yeah, that's gross, man. That's nasty. And that's who they are. Coco G85, thank you for being here. I always love to see the new supporters, man. I really appreciate you being here. I really appreciate you being here. George Allen, thanks for always being here, brother. Thank you. I'm glad to be back, my friend. I'm glad to be back. But that's how it started, right? And the big ugly bill passed. Well, Democrats took it and ran with it. And they ran against the Republicans on it. Look what these Republicans did. They all want to cash in. They want to sue Verizon. And it took away qualified immunity for investigators. And it was retroactive. So Democrats immediately ran to every microphone. They did their job. The Republicans screwed up. The Republicans wrote an amendment. It was a shitty amendment. We couldn't stop it. We got it as best we could. It ended up in the bill that ended up going to the House. And at the House, Hakeem Jeffries and the Democrats grabbed a hold of it and beat the living crap out of Republicans with it. And that's where you found out about it. That's where you found out about it. Because every Democrat was running to a microphone and saying they want to take your tax dollars and put it in their pockets, which is exactly what this was about. They wanted to take your tax dollars and put it in their pocket. So Republicans took one look at this and said, oh, no. No. One, this isn't us. We're the House. This only protects senators in the Senate. No. And unanimously, Democrats and Republicans, I hate Republicans, but I've got to be honest. If they do something right, I got to call it out. Republicans joined with Democrats and voted unanimously. I don't mean unanimous consent. I mean, they voted roll call to the last person voted to repeal that part of the big ugly bill. So that's where we were at. The House said, we're not doing that. They voted to repeal it and sent it over back to the Senate. And senators that didn't know about this, because not every surprise, not every senator knows about what's going on with legislation. They just get told which way to vote. Several Republican senators were really pissed off because this was an obvious money grab. This is a political loser. And they were really angry that this got put in the bill. So a lot of senators turned against John Thune, who wanted this bill in the bill. So John Thune turned against it. Chuck Schumer came out and said, hey, I didn't want this in the first place. They wanted to stick it in there. I got it as good as we could. I'm getting my entire caucus to vote to repeal this. It's bullshit. It's a money grab. What do you think the Republicans did? What do you think the Republicans did? Big Gizmo 80. Welcome back, Paul. Orange Man and his crew are going to throw everything at us. We need to stay motivated and hopeful. Amen, brother. Amen. Well said, sir. Spicy Jester. AP reported an ICE agent in Chicago shot an unarmed woman 7 times. He bragged and went on to say, I fired 5 rounds and she had 7 holes. But put that in your books, boys. We are not the same. No, sir, we are not the same. Forgive the sniffles and stuff. I do apologize. I am fighting a little something right now. Glad to be home, Robin. Glad to be home. Damn, I hope your coffee's as good as mine. Mine is acting like medicine this morning. Clearing me up. So yeah, Schumer has the Democrats lined up to repeal this. This is what happens. Forgive me, that cough is going into high gear. Yeah, it gets stalled in the Senate. You have more than enough votes to kill this, more than enough votes to repeal this in the Senate. It's already been repealed in the House. Republicans are freaking out. Democrats are doing their job. They're beating the shit out of Republicans with it, but it gets stalled. Why does it get stalled? Why does it get stalled? Miss Lindsey. Yeah. She's put a hold on this, and a senator has a right to do that. He's put a hold on the bill, and he has come out, went to a microphone with a reporter, and said this publicly. said this publicly. Oh my God. That he's going to get his money. Yeah. He's going to get his money. So this ain't going to go away. I'm willing to take this to court. I'm getting my money. I'm going to sue Verizon. I'm going to get a lot more than $500,000. The man said that out loud. And I got to tell you, it is really blowing things up in the Senate, because not only right now do you have John Thune, who's lost control of his caucus. Not only are they on the losing end of this, they've got no avenue forward that Lindsey Graham isn't going to take this to court. And we're going to rehash through the news media why Jack Smith had gathered their metadata. We are going to relive and relitigate the Jack Smith investigation that Lindsey Graham insists we do, when every other Republican wants this to become ancient memory. This is why we're talking about this, folks. Everything circles back. Exactly. We are 11 months from the midterms, and you have Lindsey Graham screaming at the top of his lungs, I'm getting paid. I'm getting me some Verizon money. I'm getting paid, and you ain't going to stop it. Going into the midterms. This is what I'm telling you. All we have to do is and watch him do it, because they're imbeciles. They're idiots. Please forgive this cold. I'm so sorry. George Allen, gosh, what a couple of crazy days, eh, Paul? Holy crap. It just keeps getting better. It just keeps getting better. Not only, not only, do we have the pardons and the disgusting pardons that we're going to beat them to death with politically over and over and over and over again. We've got Lindsey Graham screaming, running all over the hill, screaming, I'm going to get my money. I'm going to get my money. All of this with only 11 months to the midterms. Only 11 months in midterms. And we're relitigating. We're going to relitigate the Jack Smith investigation, which they already had cemented their talking points to with their base. They had already made that go away. Your drunk uncle already had his comeback about the Jack Smith investigation. Now we've got to relitigate all of it. Thank you. Thank you. I keep telling you this. They're awful people, but they're also imbeciles. They're not bright people. And speaking of not bright people, oh my God, Lindsey Halligan is the gift that keeps on giving. What's the nonsense about impeaching Trump when he is the horse that keeps on giving fuel for the midterms? I'm telling you, I see him resigning, not being impeached. I really don't. Politically, he is just a gift constantly. E.T., Miss Lindsey is jealous of his orange buddy, whom isn't sending him any money for his part in helping him out. So he wants some through some means. That's exactly right. I didn't even have to write that. This is how you immediately understood that. Trump's getting his. Lindsey's going to get his. This is who they are. This is the narrative they're setting up on their own going into the midterms. All we have to do is keep shoving it in your drunk uncle's face. Monica Meadows says, did you hear Eric Swalwell is going to run for California governor? No, I hadn't heard that yet. I hadn't heard that he had declared or anything like that. Did he declare? I like Eric Swalwell. He's a good man. You could tell because his been in Congress for a long time and his net worth hasn't ballooned to like $50 million. He's still just a guy that's working with a family. But yeah, Lindsey Halligan. Oh my God, this is how it started. This is how it started. Oh, the press ate it up. We had the pageant queen turned insurance lawyer that worked for Trump. This is the kind of people Trump surrounds himself with. Oh, she's pretty. I don't think she's pretty. Do y'all think she's pretty? I call this the Mar-a-Lago look, and I think it's kind of gross, but and I don't mean to attack a woman's looks or anything. I don't find this attractive. I don't. I would not be happy if I came home and this is how Mrs. Texas Paul looked. I wouldn't. This is just, I don't know. I call it the Mar-a-Lago look. But this is, it didn't take a lot of speculation as to why she was working in the White House. We were paying her a salary. She wasn't qualification. She's an insurance lawyer. And apparently not a very good one at that. But oh my God, the wheels have fallen off on that. 3 different hearings, 3 different judges. So I'm going to just consolidate it together so that it's not confusing. This is what I do. This is what I do. This is what I do for a living. This is what you people allow me to do for a living, and I'm very grateful. I'm not an influencer. Don't call me an influencer. I ain't influencing shit. All right. Trump loyalist admits to grand jury never saw final Comey indictment. Here is section 1 of what we're talking about. Yeah, this really happened. And that headline is spot on from the New York Times. Tyler Lemons, who is on the prosecutorial team, stood in front of Judge Michael Nachmanoff and said, standing here in front of you, Your Honor, yes, that is my understanding. What is his understanding? The grand jury never saw the indictment that they're using. Let me explain. How the hell does that happen? How the hell do you have a guy indicted with an indictment that the grand jury never saw? That's weird, right? That doesn't happen. This is what happened. They got a no bill. They sat and they voted. They put 3 charges in an indictment to a grand jury. And they got a no bill. They said, no, we're not going to do it. In their deliberations, they said, we might give you these 2 charges, but we're not giving you this 3rd charge. For sure. So Lindsey Halligan went and rewrote the indictment. No shit. Right there during grand jury deliberations, she goes, she rewrites the indictment. She takes the 3rd charge out. She brings it back to the jury foreman and has him sign it. And that's the indictment they used to indict James Comey. They took that to a judge, swore all their affirmations. And by the way, Pam Bondi and the DOJ also said that they had done it all by the book, which they obviously had not. This came out because, again, this is a little confusing, multiple hearings going on, and we're getting evidence that is screwing these people. This is how stupid they are. Lindsey Halligan, in one hearing, they're talking about the actual grand jury testimony. And I got some notes here. I just the things that she's been called out for so far is this. So not only did they not show the new indictment to the full grand jury and actually do it by the book, they just rewrote it and had the jury foreman sign it. So yeah, there's that. Which doesn't fly, by the way, people. You can't do that. I mean, let's just pause for a minute and explain why. This is the government attempting to take your freedoms. This is the government attempting to take your freedoms. We have these rules in place. This is what freedom is. It's adhering to these rules. The government just can't take your freedom from you. They must adhere to specific rules. They have to make their case. And that is one of the problems that we have with our grand jury testimony. And again, this is coming out of multiple hearings, but we're just going to consolidate it all together because this is what's going to happen going forward. This is going to get dismissed. It is. It's going to get dismissed. And I just want to pause it right here. I don't care that James Comey is going through this. I care that they're doing this, that the government is acting this way. That's what I care about. I don't give a damn about James Comey. I really don't. This has nothing to do with James Comey for me. Nothing at all. That guy, anyways, I don't want to get off in the weeds. It's the fact that the government is doing this because our freedom is guaranteed by forcing the government to adhere to these laws. Melinda Hirsch, 9100 says, so glad you're back. I'm glad to be back. I am truly glad to be back. Kemp 4412, thank you for all you do for the Ride or Die family. Now, thank you for being in the Ride or Die family. Thank you. You're the power. I keep telling you folks, you are the power. But here, just let me run through it. What's going on with the grand jury testimony? Not only did they not take the indictments to the full grand jury, they just had the foreman sign off on it. That is one problem. That doesn't fly. You can't indict somebody there. The hearing going forward is going to be, there's one case in the 60s where this happened. They're going to review that and whether, this isn't going to fly on just that alone, but there's more. Wait, there's more. Andrew Borth, 6629. Can't get here often, but I am a fan. Just coming in about 50 minutes in. ICE is on the recruitment tour for anti-Trump. Charlotte District 6 flip blue. Lean R to 57D. Before ICE, 2-win purple state. Need your 20% of the blue city. Amen, brother. This is happening country. What he's talking about is District 6 just flip blue. It just flipped blue. I'm telling you, the momentum is at our back. If you keep at it, it is, you're talking about districts that are red districts, not pink districts. Red districts are flipping blue. We just have to keep at it. Keep talking about things like this. Look, Lindsey Halligan, when you indict somebody, you walk in and you have to explain, these are not attorneys. These are not prosecutors. These are lay people. These are plumbers. These are, chefs. These are, you get it. You go serve on a grand jury, you're not a prosecutor. So the first burden of the government is they have to explain the law to you. She blew it. She blew it. They've got the transcripts of what she explained to these people, and it is biased. It is biased language that she used. They can't do that. They can't do that. They must represent the law as it stands to get an indictment. If they misrepresent the law that they're attempting to prosecute you for violating, the indictment gets thrown out. And they know for a fact the judge has already censured her for that. That's one. Two, she suggested to the grand jury that Comey had to take the stand and prove his innocence. Not how this works. Anybody that's watched any court case knows that you do not have to testify against yourself. You do not. She misrepresented the burden of proof. She told the grand jury Comey has to prove his innocence. No, not how that works. Nope. Yep, exactly, David. Nope, not how this works. But that's what she told the grand jury. And this is on the record. This is on the record. They can't even compel your wife to testify against you. They just can't. When they constructed their indictments, they used inadmissible information. See, this investigation had been done back in 2019. Lindsey Halligan just got the boxes, opened them up, and started flipping through, finding, but she's an idiot. She's a right-wing shit poster, internet shit poster, not a prosecutor. So she finds this information that sounds good and constructs her indictment off this information. You want to know the problem with the information? It was attorney-client communication. It was attorney-client communication. You can't build an indictment off of that. It's inadmissible. Look, your attorney, it's not Hollywood. It's not Hollywood. Communications between you and your lawyer, the DOJ is going to find out about it, especially if they're emails, right? They're going to find out about them. They can't use them. That's against the law. That's forcing you to testify against yourself. There's a whole lot of legal principles that a whole lot of lawyers out there can explain to you. It's not that hard, folks. She went and built her indictment off of communications that she's not entitled to have. And she never went back. Let me give you an example. They show up for a drug raid at your house, and they've got a specific search warrant that says they can look in certain places in your house. Then they notice when they look out in the backyard, there's a patch of ground where it looks like, oh, well, you buried something back there. They can't just go dig that up. They've got to go get another warrant. This is essentially what she did in going through this box. She said, oh, wait a minute, I think there might be some there. And she took that information and she put it in her indictment without ever securing the warrants to look into the backyard. And to make it worse, there's no there. It's you had some septic work done. So they dig it up and they don't find anything. But this is what Lindsey Halligan did. She told the grand jury, we're digging in that hole. We're going to find something. We'll when we try the case, that evidence will be there. You can't do that. You can't do that. You cannot present to a grand jury that you have better evidence that you'll get later. No, that's not how that works. George Allen, 1960. My pop can't stand Comey because of 2016. Me either, brother. To me, it's not that this has anything to do with Comey. It doesn't. It's just that the government is doing this. Because if they'll do it to James Comey in broad daylight where everybody's looking, imagine what they'll do when nobody's looking and it's just little old me and you. Mr. Knudsen, 87, thanks for being here, brother, all the time. Will you comment on Trump again trying to sell out Ukraine for his pal Vladimir the Insane? We're going to talk about that in the next show, brother, on Sunday. I don't have a foreign I don't have that for this show. I really don't. But yeah, I will talk about it. Linda Orndorff, thanks for being here. You have got to know the law before you can explain it to someone else. LOL. Yeah, no kidding. And she doesn't. So not only, are we talking about she used inadmissible conversations between Comey and his lawyer to build her indictments. She didn't present the indictments fully. Then she misexplained the law to the grand jury. And then she turns around and suggests that not only does Comey have to prove her wrong, so you can go ahead and indict him because the burden of proof is on Comey, not me. She suggests that she has more evidence. You can't do that. You don't have to lay your whole case out. You don't have to lay your whole case out to a grand jury. You just have to give them enough that they can indict and think that you have the right to prosecute someone. You don't have to lay every single thing out, but you cannot tell them, oh, I got loads of evidence. No, then you have to show them the evidence. You have to show them. And in no way did they do that. And they have the transcripts, and now the judge has given the transcripts to the defense attorney, which is unheard of. Grand jury testimony is sealed for a reason. It is sealed for a reason. And it is specifically sealed so that the defendant can never get it. That is the number one target for not getting, the number one person or entity that grand jury testimony is never supposed to be handed to is the defendant. And this is so bad. This is so bad that the judge has handed it over to the defense. And right now, you have Norah O'Donnell sitting on the news, actually talking about this to Americans that don't understand any of this, don't have the full facts, just expressing that the Justice Department, after getting the shit beat out of it on Wednesday, having to confess on Wednesday they didn't show everything to the full grand jury, that they've been having the shit kicked out of them in 2 separate hearings. You have Norah O'Donnell that sits down and presents it as though the DOJ has an argument here. That, watch out. Yeah, the DOJ says this is all not true. And you wonder why your average person just doesn't get it. Just doesn't get it. I guess I got to say I'm glad they don't, because it's why I got a job. It's why I can do this full time, because we'll sit down and we'll talk about these things. But I hate it. I'd rather be bored and not doing this and having the news, the corporate media actually telling people what's going on, instead of Norah O'Donnell sitting up there telling people that, the DOJ has an argument. They don't. They have no argument. The DOJ is getting dog walked. Hope your coffee's as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better. Oh, man, I am needing that coffee today. Whew, pressure, I can't tell you. E.T., in many respects, be thankful that they are all clowns and a huge clown car of idiots. If they were even remotely confident, get involved, get active. Amen, brother. Amen. That is the central point of what I'm telling you. Yes, they're going to do awful things. They are, because they're awful people. But thank God they are incompetent. You even have Trump's attorney. You remember Ty Cobb? I should have a picture from him. He's so memorable. You remember Ty Cobb? Ty Cobb sat down and just, I believe it was CNN. Somebody fact checked him. I think it was a CNN interview where he sits there and he says, you know what? Pam Bondi, she needs to be disbarred, because she communicated to the judge that she reviewed all of this and it was all legit. Don't bother looking into it. It's all good. It's all good. Big curly mustache. That's right. He is memorable. He is memorable. But he did. He said, look, she made false statements to the court. She affirmed things that she could not possibly be affirming because they didn't exist and they didn't happen. Pam Bondi told a judge that they showed that indictment to the full grand jury, and that didn't happen. And Ty Cobb, Lindsey Halligan had to stand before the judge on Wednesday. Tyler Lemon had to stand before the judge on Wednesday and tell the judge that did not happen. And Ty Cobb said that Pam Bondi and Lindsey Halligan both need to be disbarred. And this was Trump's lawyer. George Allen, 1962. What's up with Marjorie Trader Green? Maybe for a whole different show. I love Pete Buttigieg. I really do. He summed it up. He was talking about JD Vance, but it applies to Marjorie Taylor Greene. He did an interview where we were talking about JD Vance, and they asked him about JD Vance's opinions, some of the horrific things that he said. And he said, look, man, he's a windsock. It's what he needs to say now. He doesn't believe anything. And then he went back and he quoted, this is why I love Pete Buttigieg, went back and quoted a couple things that JD Vance had said. This is what fit his, served him at the time. So he said this. Now he says this. Tomorrow he'll say something different. So no, I can't sit here and tell you what he's saying today is JD Vance, because there is no JD Vance. It's whichever way the wind is blowing. Same thing with Marjorie Taylor Greene. When it served her purpose to be an obnoxious MAGA asshole, that's what she was. And now that the writing's on the wall, that everybody's done with that, and that Trump is going to go away, the cult's over, Marjorie Taylor Greene is trying to respin herself as a reasonable person. And she's not. She wasn't the bullshit clown that she was before, and she's not a reasonable person. She's another JD Vance. She'll just say whatever the hell she thinks serves her purpose. There's no there. Carl Rossi, numbskulls all. The new information didn't work in a press conference, and it sure as hell won't work in court. Kleenex fun, bro. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. I'm burning through these Kleenexes like no tomorrow, man. I have to go down to Sam's today and have to buy a new container of Kleenexes. I am burning through these things. I really appreciate you, man. I really do. Sorry about the sniffling. I really am, folks. I am sorry about that. But yeah, it just doesn't stop there. I mean, everything they do, they just hand us one thing after another. And yes, they do horrific things. They murdered people. They straight up murdered people. I, again, want to remind people that those people they killed in those boats, even if they were correct in claiming that they were drug boats, which that's in dispute now too, but even if they were correct, it's not a capital offense. You still committed murder. It's no different than if you had blown someone up for jaywalking. It's not a capital offense. And now we have people that are resigning their positions. They're getting out of the military so that they can openly speak. Like one of the military's top lawyers said, look, I objected to this. I absolutely told them this wasn't legal. You can't do this. There's a reason that you see our boats pull up alongside these boats. And if they're not firing back, if they don't shoot at us, we'll shoot some warning shots across their bow. And as long as they throw their hands up, we arrest them. There's a reason for that. That's all we're legally entitled to do. You cannot hit these boats with a Hellfire missile. That is a crime. Because it's not a capital offense. It's not an offense punishable by death. There's no legal collar that you can apply here. And good Lord, Trump is losing his damn minds over this conversation coming to the forefront. Andrew Borth, 6629. Some assholes won't believe the safety lecture till they lose a hand. Amen, brother. Take heart. Lots of teachable moments. Try not to be too smug when they say, tried to warn you. I hear you. I'm trying. I'm failing, but I'm trying. 2015, I predicted tanks in the streets. It's been a trip. I hear you, brother. I hear you. And that's why I said in the beginning, for a lot of people, their social media is to vent their emotions and the things they're afraid of. And I need to remember that. And I need to not be too harsh, because sometimes I am too harsh on my social media. I am. Silly Bebo. When it comes to Marjorie Taylor Greene and JD Vance, a broken clock is right twice a day. It doesn't mean that they're trustworthy. Well said. Perfectly said. That's why I say this is a community show. Perfectly said. Perfectly. Thumbs up. Hats off. That you nailed it. You nailed it. Want to support your show in a small way? Keep it up. International court needs to indict Trump. Yeah, I don't think he's going to live long enough for it to happen, but yeah, I agree with you. E.T., the PSA made by the congressional veterans being called insurrectionists by that group. Love that you folks. I'm telling you, I love you folks. Where do you think we're going here? Where do you think we're going? This is what happens, okay? This is what happened. I told you, Trump is losing his damn mind because what they did is a damn crime. And Trump ordered it. And Democrats are calling them out. Democrats put out a video. I'm going to play it for you here in just a second. That just, it was, perfect. Well, let's just get to it. I'll play you the video. I was going to play it later for effect, but let's just get to it. This is the video he's talking about. It's all over social media. You can find it. I will play it for you here, but if you want to see it again, it's all over social media. But this is the video.
Melissa Slotkin,
Senator Mark Kelly,
Representative Chris DeLuzio,
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander,
Representative Chrissy Houlihan,
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy,
former CIA officer,
former Navy,
former paratrooper and Army Ranger,
former intelligence officer,
former Air Force,
We want to speak directly to members of the military
and the intelligence community.
who take risks each day.
to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
And intelligence community professionals
against American citizens. Like us, you all swore an oath.
to protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad,
But from right here at home. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
you must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law
or our Constitution.
We know this is hard and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
The Army,
Our Navy,
The Air Force.
your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
The American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws.
our Constitution,
and who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
Great ad. Great ad. And Trump lost his damn mind. And look, a couple things. I told you. He is addled. He has pudding for brains, which means he's going to get more and more erratic. His responses aren't going to be proportional. They're not going to make sense. And believe me, they don't make sense. Peter Campbell says, as a higher rank, they have a duty to warn no unlawful orders are to be obeyed. 100%. Everybody knows this. This has been Trump's reaction. First of all, he says this. This is his first reaction. TruthSocial.com and Washington Examiner. It's called seditious behavior at the highest level. Each one of these traitors to our country should be arrested and put on trial. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. We won't have a country anymore. An example must be set. President DJT. That was his response to that video. To start with, that was his response. Then he went on to post responses to his statement. He reposted things like, hang them, George Washington would. Traitors. Yeah, see this? Or he retweeted this? Yeah, these are all on Donald Trump's feed. For that video. For that video. And then he says this. Seditious behavior punishable by death. Now, like I told you, folks, I did. I told you, let that just sink in. I'm going to leave it up for a second. Let that sink in. I told you. He is going to become more and more erratic. That's what happens, folks. So many people in our community, you have people that are in our community right now in the live chat right now. That's why I love the live chat being such. If you're watching this, make sure the live chat panel's up. If you're on PC, there's a button in the lower right-hand corner that says panel. Open it up. The conversations that we're having, if you're watching it on a mobile device, I think you just swipe and it'll open up, it'll show the chat. It takes about 30 minutes to process after the video for the chat to be available. Make sure you're watching with the chat, because there are people in our audience right now that have cared for elder family members and know what I'm about to say is 100% true. As the dementia progresses, they become violent. They will become erratic. They will become angry, frustrated, and scared. And you can see frustration and fear all over Trump's responses. He is terrified because he knows they've committed a crime with the attacks on these boats and what they've been doing with ICE. They're getting ruling after ruling after ruling that is telling them you committed a crime. And by you, I mean Donald John Trump. James, where did that come from? Donald John Trump. You committed a crime because you ordered this. Don Hoover, 9131. Thanks for being here, brother. Thanks for supporting the show. And he knows it, and he's terrified. And he's going to get more and more and more erratic, because look at the progression. He can't speak now. You're seeing him in public less and less and less. You remember just 6 months ago? It was daily. You had to hear from Trump multiple times a day. He could not speak enough. You're lucky to hear from him every few days now, because he's just not there. And he can't do it. He says the stupidest, he just ambles all over the place and can't make a point, can't keep a thought straight, and just says shit that's just factually untrue. Not only is he a lame duck who's 11 months away from a midterm election that is going to decimate his party and end his cult support, if you do your job and if you stay involved. Nothing's a given. We all have to do the work. But not only is he facing that, he's lost his damn mind. He can't fight. And that's terrifying, folks, for anybody. And you can see it every day. His reactions are no longer proportionate. He saw that they forced him to sign. He didn't willingly sign that Epstein bill. They made him. They sat him down and they told him, that's it. This is it. This is the end of it all. If you don't sign this today, this is the end of it. And he doesn't know what to do. He's in full panic. This is why a simple, innocuous video that deals with what I was so angry about when we started seeing them attacking these boats. Damn them for dragging our military into this. Because there are officers and soldiers and sailors that are going to be prosecuted for this. They have to be. Because if they aren't, we have no freedom. They will be sacrificed on the altar of freedom. And damn Donald Trump for creating that situation. Damn Stephen Miller for creating that situation. Damn Steve Bannon. Just damn them all. These incompetent bastards. But it'll happen. It'll happen. Pavlon 01, welcome back. Sorry I'm late, but not late to the struggle. Hell of a week for the orange regime. He is cornered. He is cornered. Amy Poe, 3772, said this before. Military is taught country before self. Hey, military, hear this. Self before stupidity. Those who love you say thank you for not sacrificing yourself to orange idiot stupidity. Such an awful position for these people to be in. Hail Mary Bruce. Thank you, Ron Slater. I appreciate you. Such an awful position for our military to be in. I mean, and damn them for creating it. Damn them for creating it. But look, we're going to make it. We're going to win this. Yes, they're going to do awful things. Yes, they're going to leave us awful things that we have to clean up. And yeah, a lot of people are going to get hurt between here and there. I don't bullshit you. I don't candy coat it. I don't want you thinking, oh, it's all going to be okay. And then when it's not okay, you're devastated. No, I want you prepared. I want you to have a foot back. I want you to have your shoulders cocked, hands up, ready to fight. That's what I want. So no, I'm never going to sit here and tell you the next 11 months are going to be candy and pie. They're not. They're not. Everything that's worked for MAGA to date has been bring out the worst in our base. Bring out the worst in our base. And it'll pay off for us. We see that's failing now, but they're not going to stop because it's worked for them in the past. And even after we defeat them, MAGA will not go away. There will still be people out there. This fight will never end. Sherry Garnizo, Sherry Garnizo, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. He will be found unfit for trial. How will he be punished? I suspect he will not live for trial. I don't think he is physically dying right before our eyes. I don't think that he will live through a trial. I don't think he will. The Inquisitive Prince, 7095. It's the movie A Few Good Men script as far as the military soldiers. It's heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking that they're in this situation. It really is. I hate it. I really hate it. But look, I hope you've gotten the central message here that these people are incompetent. And as long as we keep doing the job and we keep banging away, we're going to make it. We're going to make it. And one of the things I keep telling you is get involved with the Democratic Party. Stick with me. Don't let your eyes glaze over. I know you've heard it before. This is different. This is different. Hector Garza, he's been a guest on our show before. He is a force of nature. This guy is fantastic. He's a wonderful person. He has resigned as the head of the Smith County Democratic Party. He's resigned his position. He's running for Texas House District 5. You keep telling us, hey, flip Texas blue. What's it going to take? And it's saying, well, Hector Garza has stood up and he's thrown his hat in the ring. This is District 5, House District 5. Stick with me. I'm going somewhere with this. You see Tyler, Texas here. It cuts off the northern part of Tyler, Texas. And then it's a whole bunch of rural areas up to Mount Pleasant where none of these areas, Gilmer, Pittsburgh, Mount Pleasant, Mineola, have anything in common with North Tyler. This is one of those districts that's drawn to take a slice of voters out of Tyler that will vote Democrat and dilute them with rural red votes. Well, they've made a mistake. See, Hector Garza has very strong support with the Hispanic community. And he's doing the work. The guy's a force of nature. He really is. He is out there every day meeting with people. He was telling me about a meeting in Mount Pleasant. He's like, Mount Pleasant Democrats. He's like, we didn't turn out because nobody ever came to ask. He's like, I'm here and I'm asking. They're like, we know. Tell us what you want us to door knock. He is lighting up people everywhere he goes. He's engaging people. And when I say engaging people, I don't mean engaging with people. He's getting people and he's engaging them. What's the downside to that? We lost him. Hector Garza was everything to us. I mean, that guy worked tirelessly for us Democrats. And he's charming, he's funny, he keeps everything moving, he knows about how to run a party. And he's gone. Now we have to make up the slack. And he's going to help us. Don't get me wrong. He's not abandoning us. But this is why I'm telling you, get involved with your local Democratic Party. Because the Hector Garzas, they're not going to be here forever. They're not going to be here forever. And we need you to know what to do. You to be able to take up the mantle. You know, Hector being in our government is a good thing. He is a good man. He's a good man. He is exactly what you want in government. He's smart. He understands the big picture. He gets it. But he is a true, tremendous loss to us Smith County and to the Smith County Democrats and the Democrats as a whole, because, you know, the counties surrounding Smith County, the rural counties, they all feed off. Nothing happened to him. He's running for office. He's running for office. He's running in District 5. And he's got a good shot. He's doing what we keep asking people to do. Throw your hat in the ring. Represent us. He's doing it, but he can't do both. He can't run the Smith County Democratic Party, and he can't also be my representative. He's got to pick a lane, and he picked one. But now we've got this monstrous void, these shoes to fill in the Smith County Democratic. And thank God there are some really great people. Love you, Aller. Love you, Kathy. Love you, Tristan. Love you guys that are always there working hard to keep things going. We're going to keep banging away. But we've got good people that are coming out of these Democratic parties that aren't going to allow Republicans to run unopposed anymore. But that means we've got to have you involved with the Democratic Party so that we can fill those shoes. You follow me? You follow me? This is why I'm saying get involved. This is why I'm saying get involved. Kenyon Gomez, Texas Paul, please help. There are 7 SBOE seats uncontested. We have until 12/8 to get candidates there. These are districts are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13, and 14. Where? Because I know here in Texas in District 5, Hector's already filled out the paperwork. ET, everyone remember they have worked decades. Email me with some information on it. I'm always glad to help Democrats. Always. Email me with some more information, please. Everyone remember they have worked decades to get to this point. It will not be fixed in just 1 or 2 election cycles. I'm in it for the long haul, or you get involved, be ready for a long effort. Amen, brother. Amen. I couldn't have said it better myself. Mr. Knudsen, take note. Texas Paul will be with us for years to come, but all you need to back up the next one. Are you ready to take up the torch? Amen, brother. Amen. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I keep telling you, get involved. It's not a lot of your time. It's not. They usually get together about once a month, about an hour of your time, then some socializing. You get to know some good people. It's a lot of fun, usually. It really is a lot of fun, usually. Good people. Hell, the Hunt County Democrats, about this time of year, they're doing a coat drive for the local kids. On top of all the political stuff, they're also doing a coat drive to make sure everybody's got a nice warm coat for this time of year. I'm telling you, folks, if you get involved with your local Democratic Party, you'll like the people. You will. And you'll be there in case we ever have to fill a set of shoes. I just want to take a second to say thank you, Hector. I'm really proud of you for being brave enough to throw your hat in the ring. I know you're going to do a great job. I know you're going to win. And I've got your back anything I could do. That's what I have for you today, folks. So please enjoy some Texas cities at night.